In this lesson, we're going to talk a lot about the vocabulary in circles as well as some circumference, which you have seen in the past. But our first little bit here is some vocab, and we have the word chord. Chord is an example on this picture here of DA, segment DA, where it is a segment with both end points on the circle, so C. The circle itself is a set of all points in a plane that are equal distant from a given point. The diameter, which you know from middle school, is D, a chord that passes through the center of the circle. So for example, in this picture, EB. And then a radius, it goes from the center of the circle to any point on the circle, and it is a segment. So naming this circle would be circle C. Naming the chords, we had chord DA. And then we had the diameter, which would be EB. And that is also a chord because it has two end points on the circle. The radii are just the different radius that we see. So we have CE, we have CB, and CF. The diameter, we already named there, from E to B goes through the center of our circle. Draw a circle. So we're going to just use this circle down here. And you're going to label it with the center being M, the diameter being SW, a radius MA. Let me get my M out of there and put it here. And then a chord, RP. So how many chords are in my circle? So I have one chord here, RP. I also have the chord SW, so I have two. How many radii? We have 1, 2, 3. What is the relationship between the radius and diameter? So I want you to think about that. The radius is half the diameter. Or you could say the diameter is twice the radius, whatever direction you want to go. So this right here is 8 for the radius, so that means that this is 8. That also means this radius is 8. So how long is TU? 16. If this diameter is 17, then how long is SV, this radius? So if the diameter is 17, well, then the radius would be half of that, and so that would be 8.5. What would make two circles congruent? Well, two circles that have the same size. And then the question is, well, how would you know if those two circles were congruent? And you would know if they have the same radii. Then they would definitely be the same. We had some sort of measurement in there, and that would have to be like a radius or diameter. What would make two circles similar? Well, all circles are similar because they're circles. So they are all similar to each other since they are that shape. What are concentric circles? So I want you to take a look at this picture over here to the left, and it's a circle inside another. And so in real life, when do we see something in that shape? A tasty donut. Yum. I'm sure you can think of some other examples. Target logo. So 2 points of intersection something like that, two circles. One point of intersection, you could either kind of have them one inside another or kind of one just touching the other at one point and the other one's not necessarily inside of it. And then just no points, so two circles that don't touch. The diameter of S, circle S right here. So the whole length, because diameter is 30 units. The diameter of R here is 20 units. And we know that DS is 9 right there. So if we know the diameter, then we know the radius. So that would make this 15. Over here, RD would be 10. I'm going to go ahead and just label that 10 because we don't really need that other 10 over here. And then looks like if we have 15, 9, then that leaves us 6 right here. And then if this is 10 and this is 6, that would leave us 4. 6 and 4 would make the 10 there. So find CD. Well, we did right there. It's 6. Find RC. Then we did right there. It's 4. What is the circumference of a circle? It is the distance around the circle. So the equation for circumference of the circle is either 2 pi times the radius or pi times the diameter. So pi is actually the circumference over the diameter. It's that ratio of the circumference of the circle divided by the diameter. And it is, the exact value is the pi button on your calculator because it is an irrational value that goes on forever that you can't actually write out. But we use that approximate 3.14 if we're doing the approximate value. So, but always want to try and use your pi button because that's going to give you the most accurate. So exact answer is going to be 28 pi for this one for the circumference because again, it is pi times diameter if you have it. And so 28 we write first, then the pi behind it for our exact. Approximately what we would do is type in 28 times pi in our calculator using the pi button and hit enter. And we would get 87.96 rounding to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 numbers after the decimal. Over here we have our, again, diameter, so it's 15 pi for exact. 15 times pi is 47.12. Now on this one though, we have the radius. 11 is our R, so it is going to be 2 pi times R, which is 11. So 2 times 11 is 22 pi, which in our calculator is 69.12. So on this example, we are given the circumference. So 35.6 is equal to the diameter times pi, or pi times diameter. So in order to find the diameter, we need to divide both sides by pi. So that's going to cancel, leaving us with just the diameter. So our diameter is going to be equal to 11.33. And that means our radius is half of that, which would be 5.67. This right here, a polygon that is inscribed in a circle, if all of its vertices lie on the circle. So you can see they're all touching that circle. The circle is circumscribed about a polygon if it contains all the vertices of the polygon. And so we kind of talked about this when we talked about triangles. But this right here, quadrilateral, is considered inscribed in that circle K. Circle K is circumscribed about that quadrilateral. So it's kind of on the outside, right? And the quadrilateral is on the inscribed, inside. So this right here, we've got our triangle here, and notice that its diameter is going through the center of the circle. So we have a right triangle when that happens. And if we have 2 legs, we can go ahead and find that diameter or that hypotenuse with our Pythagorean theorem. So 49 plus 9 is going to give us 58. And then we want to do the square root. So C is equal to the square root of 58, which is approximately 7.6. So the diameter is 7.6. And we're going to go ahead and plug that into our formula. So pi times diameter, so 7.6 times pi, or 23.9 when we plug it into our calculator.